Welcome back, family. You are now listening to the Fitness Headspace podcast, episode 18, brought to you by Deion and Avril from Evolve Fitness, where we get fit and we don't quit. Now, of course, as always, before we start, if you all can go ahead and drop a like, share, comment, and subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. It's going to give us the opportunity to work with YouTube to get this video up front of people who need similar information and need similar assistance. So if you guys could do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. So what we're going to do is focus on one topic, as we had mentioned before. And today that topic is going to be motivation. Okay, how to motivate yourself. I want to go over a few simple ways to do this because it'll take you a long way when it comes to your fitness journey, but also realizing that it's not only motivation that you need, you also do need consistency. You also do need that discipline. You also need that internal drive as well too, which is what we're going to be talking about as far as motivation. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. All right. So as mentioned, the topic is going to be motivation. And the reason why I decided to choose motivation is because this is one of those topics where a lot of people have questions about how to stay motivated and how can they be like else person because they need that additional motivation or that extra push as well too. Now the thing is, people can get motivation from different places. Okay, so let's go over the definition first and foremost. I believe there's like 2 or 3 different ones. So the reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. Second one is the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. Okay, so it's kind of both. And, the motivation is just you having the, again, internal drive to push forward. But you have to remember what your why is before you can even determine what you're going to drive or move forward. Right? Makes sense? So that's the first thing I wanted to just kind of break down really quick before we go into the full understanding. So a major part of what's going on right now is that people want to seek instant gratification, and instant gratification could be nice in the time, but you have to think about the long term. So for example, you can get a diet pill or whatever they want to call it. Primarily a water pill for most people is what people get. So if you were to get a water pill or something that helps you drop a significant amount of weight, I can't even say body fat, just weight, as far as the number going down on the scale. And people will use those and say, all right, cool, I'll get to my goal weight in like a month and a half, 2 months. All right, that's fine. But is it sustainable? Is it something that you can do over a long period of time? Is it something that you can maintain as far as whatever you're doing in the first place? You get what I'm saying? So once you realize that, it'll make things a little bit easier for you as you start setting things in place. And just remember, anything that's worth it it's going to take time. So for example, how many people we know that are celebrities or whatever the case is, they didn't come out the womb popular. They still had to go through school. They still had to study. They still had to do what they needed to do and hold their end. And as they held their end of the bargain, that's when everything happened for them. So it's same concept. You can't expect to get the results that you want if you're not putting in the work. It's pretty black and white. You know what I mean? So just some food for thought. Now, one of the first things that I would highly suggest everybody to do if you're focusing on your motivation is setting your goals. Because if you have goals that are set in place, that will be your motivation to continue progressing. So let's say I have a goal of being able to do 10 regular push-ups, not knee push-ups, not modified, anything of that sort. 10 push-ups. That's your first goal. And you could create a couple of other ones. That's a small stepping stone. Create some other ones as well too that are small, medium, or even large. So then we can prioritize which ones you want to focus on first, or things that are a little bit more obtainable, I should say. Not even what you want to focus on, yes, but also what you want to focus on and things that are realistic and more obtainable. We'll focus on that first. That'll be the primary focus. Then as we shift and we complete additional goals, then you'll have that opportunity to wrap back around and add things in if needed be. So just making sure that you have multiple goals set in place so that we can use the short-term goals along with the long-term goals to help determine how we're doing so far as progress. Because the goals is a really nice thing that I like to focus on, besides like the weight and all that other stuff, because you get caught up in this number race and thinking that you have to be at a certain number. But in all reality, you might want to be 150 and you're 180, but you get to 160, like, you know what, this doesn't look bad. I think I said it wrong, but let me give you another analogy. You start at 200 pounds and you want to be at 180, or I should say 170, but you get to like 180, 185. You're like, yo, I look good. Why go down if you don't have to? Now you're obsessed with the number. What is the number going to do for you besides validate that you're either at the number you want to be at or underneath? Meanwhile, your weight fluctuates every day. So I'm going to drop the mic on that one. So our second thing is that making sure that you have a game plan, because what happens is a lot of us get sidetracked. We have other things that are going on throughout the day. We got kids, we got to worry about work, we got, other stress factors. But the thing is if you do not have a game plan which goes along with your goals, how are you going to reach to where you need to go? That's like giving somebody a map and telling them to drive, but not telling them the destination. We have no game plan to get to wherever we need to go, right? Make sure that's a priority. It has to be, again, a priority. There's no excuses. There's no way around it. You need to have a game plan. You have to have a foundation. With no foundation, there's no house, there's no buildings, there's no nothing, anything at all. So you need to have a game plan. And in that game plan, incorporate your goals so then you can use those as stepping stones and milestones more so that you'll know what you've accomplished thus far and what we have still ahead moving forward, so that the progress never ends. It's always something that we could work on, which is the whole point. We don't want to get stagnant. We don't want to plateau. We don't want to get to a point where we're just like, man, I'm over it. So that is something you definitely want to keep close to the heart as you're creating your plan and setting your goals to help you be a little bit more motivated to hit the gym, or just in general to accomplish whatever you have set in place. The next thing, it's a 50-50, but I've seen this help a lot of people that I've worked with when we first started, and that's shortening your workouts. So shorten your workouts. Excuse me. And the reason why I think that's really important is just basically because of the fact that some people just don't want to spend a whole hour in the gym. It's pretty simple. So if I'm able to make you comfortable by doing half the time, but incorporating everything that we need that you would in the 1 hour, but maybe we're taking less rest, or maybe we're doing less, reps, whatever the case is, or less sets. The tempo, again, is just faster. So it could be something just that simple that can make a night and day difference when it comes to incorporating shorter workouts for either yourself or somebody that you might be working out with if you're trying to get them into the gym. And the thing is that short workouts are still just as effective as an hour and a half. If anything, they're probably more productive for most people when it comes to like muscle mass loss and tissue loss. And again, it wouldn't be anything like, oh my God, it's just more of those things where you want to be mindful of. And you don't necessarily need the hour and a half, especially starting out. So if I'm going to clarify everything that I just ranted about, shorten your workouts primarily because, again, if you need that motivation to get into the gym, you need to start slow. Start with 2 to 3 days a week. Start with 30 minutes instead of an hour. And then from there, you could slowly progress. And then what I like to do is for the additional 15 minutes that you're going to add, or 10 minutes, incorporate like cardio, just so that person is still in the gym. Like psychologically, they understand like this is where they're supposed to be for themselves. And as far as them going over everything internally, as far as in their brain, as to why they're doing what they're doing. So just validating and confirming that what they're doing is for a positive reason, and it's because they're doing it for themselves, of course. So the next topic is you have to learn how to make things fun. You have to learn how to entertain yourself. You have to learn how to think outside the box and be more creative when it comes to the gym. And it's not even just a gym. Remember, we're talking about nutrition. We're talking about your mental well-being along with your physical fitness aspect. So what I mean by being fun is just that don't take things so serious all the time. Yes, please do track, do all of that stuff. That's for sure needed for your progress. but you also have to learn how to have fun every once in a while. So even if that means that you need to go through another app and you need to find a couple of different fitness apps and try different movements just to spice things up, or you can even swap things out that you've tried, but you're like, I'm kind of getting over it. You can go through these fitness apps, and a majority of them are free. You can find something and then use it that way. If y'all want me to keep it real with you, if you don't want to keep the app, listen, if you got an iPhone, screen record it and then be good to go. If you have an Android, find a screen record app and then screen record it. It's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? And it's just more of not to pirate or anything, but it's just that instead of you having to go through each app and figure out what is what, just find the ones you like, favorite them, screen record them, and have them with you until you get comfortable with just doing them by heart, basically. You know what I mean? So very quick, short bullet point, but I still wanted to make sure that we understand that as you're going through this journey, it needs to be fun as well. It shouldn't be something that's like dreadful. You shouldn't be like, oh shit, I gotta go to the gym. I really don't want to go. It should not be like that. Another way to motivate, which is one of my favorite ones, is work out with somebody. Before we dive into that, and I know that sounded really weird with everything I just did, but the reason why is I'm very hesitant when it comes to certain people being a gym buddy to another person. And what I mean by that is make sure you have somebody that's going to hold you accountable and you'll be able to hold them accountable. 1. 2, make sure that you both are great as far as positive influences on each other and making sure that you have the motivation to give each other on a daily basis. So what I like to do with my clients is actually send them a daily text. So it's like a motivational text, just, give them that extra boost, that confidence. And at most times we're not training right there and then. It'll be maybe an hour, 2, 3 hours, 6 hours later in the day, but it's more of a concept of the first thing you get up, I want you to see something positive. I don't want you to go through your Instagram feed and looking at all these people and you get consumed through social media. Focus on you. Be thankful, which is why we're also doing the gratitude lists every day, just 3 different points. So having that opportunity to do that makes a large difference. You know what I mean? But like I said, when it comes to having that one person that could be like, yo, I can't go today, but I'm calling you to make sure that you go. Like, I'm a little down right now. I've been sneezing. I ain't trying to be around you because, the vid crazy. But, something of that nature. Very simple, straight to the point. Still being supportive of the person, but just letting them know that, hey, as of right now, you just can't go. That's a great person to have. And make sure that they're punctual. There's nothing like having a training partner that does not come on time. That is probably my biggest pet peeve. Don't waste my time, especially if I'm helping you. And I'm not trying to sound, like an a-hole. But if somebody is helping you, be mindful and be grateful that they're helping you. So get there on time. You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody got you a job. Get there on time for the interview. Why are you 10 minutes late? Stop being an asshole. You get what I'm saying? Like I had to say that because that's really what I'm talking about. Like people not being mindful of people's time. So as you could see, this whole topic has a whole nother, it really gets under my skin because I could talk about this non-stop. Guaranteed you. But we're not going to do that because I'm going to digress. But definitely, if you have a workout buddy, it will definitely make things a lot more fun, more motivating. You guys can encourage each other. It's a friendly competition. And you guys can also share each other's macros and stuff. So it's like, hey, how's your meals going? How's your eating going? Hey, what do you do for this? And is there another alternative? Have you tried that yet? You guys have that communication between the two of you, as a means of getting the answers that you need in a proper form or proper manner with 2 heads that are trying to figure it out, or 2 brains more so. So something to keep in mind. The last thing that I love about that is when you're working out with somebody, and again, it depends. It really does depend. That additional motivation or the extra set of eyes will give you a different perspective. So if there was something that you were doing as far as a certain lift and you felt like you was just killing it, and somebody shows you bro, homie, that ain't it, and they record it, he's like, oh, that's definitely not it. That'll give you a better indication of hey, it's great to have somebody here because they're able to watch my form and be mindful of if I'm rounding my back, if I'm not hinging my hips back too far, if I'm not engaging my, whatever it is. So it's all different type of things that I feel like, the person that you're training with can contribute to in a positive manner. Now, family, we're on our last one. So The last one that I like to do is, this is it's a little bit I don't want to say it's unorthodox. It's pretty normal, but pay yourself. Pay yourself. And you're like, what? Pay myself? Heck yeah. Listen, if you've been going to the gym for the last 10 days, you're on a 10-day streak, you need to make sure that you put something in place. So it's like, okay, if I go to the gym for the next 10 days, I'm going to reward myself $70 so I can go buy new gym clothes. You get what I'm saying? So make sure that the reward is something that revolves around what you're trying to improve. But not only just that, it'll give you a sense of like, okay, cool, I did that. Like 10 days, that's it. That was all it was. Like, yo, that kind of went by fast. So give me that additional push, give me that motivation, hint, and just a different perspective on things as well too, as far as how can, most people say, well, when I hit my goal weight, I just want to go, get X, Y, and Z. But I've seen people, and I've worked with people where they're like, hey, I just want to lose the weight so I can get back in my bikini, homie, or my old clothes, because I ain't buying no new clothes. So it's really nice to have the opportunity to see different people from all walks of life, and being able to take this specific strategy as far as paying yourself to do that. Or what you could do is vice versa, get a friend that's unbiased, and then, another person as well too, if needed be. And the referee, which is going to be one of your friends, is going to be completely unbiased with everything that you're doing. So when it comes to your eating, when it comes to your actual resistance training plan, anything in general that you need a little bit more assistance on, not necessarily micromanaging, but just somebody to be like overlooking, like, oh, okay, like, I see that, or give you a honest opinion, like, hey, listen, D, that ain't it, bro. You were wrong, or you didn't do that right, and I'm gonna call the shot for that, blow the whistle. All right, ref, it is what it is. So again, you can use that pay yourself option. For example, like I said, start with going to the gym for the next 30 days. If you do go, you get $300. If you don't, then you have to pay that money to the person that's refereeing. You get what I'm saying? Because nobody wants to lose money. Everybody wants to make or spend money for the most part. So when you have that concept of what I'm talking about now, you using the pay yourself option is a really great way to incentivize, it's a really great way, or I should say more of an incentive as far as what you're doing within the gym, but also there's like a reward, there's a goal behind it. Not saying that's what you should be reaching for only, like, hey, if I do this, I get $20. Hey, if I do that, no. But having that healthy relationship of, all right, cool, like I've been doing this, I love what I do, got to 200, and whatever the case is. So again, I'm not going to sit here and ramble too long, but I just wanted to elaborate on that a little bit more. So family, like I said, we've reached the end. I greatly appreciate you all sitting down, taking a listen. Hopefully it was chilling, relaxing. And this is, again, episode 18. 19 is also coming out this week. Believe it or not, it is going to be on Friday. Yes, we're dropping 2 a week. I tend to not do that, but because we had some technical issues, we had to make sure we handled. And y'all know I'm a man of my word, so that's what we do. So I will be catching up with you all in the next episode. Y'all stay smooth. And remember, we get fit because we don't quit.